Like Ryan said, the idea of Navigate is a simpler UI interface for someone who may not have, full-on training in Windchill, but might need to participate in part of your change process or needs to quick access to something within Windchill. So this is the homepage for the EAC Productivity Apps, and I'll start over here on the quick access. This is a really nice one where you can have someone that's maybe not a Windchill person be able to create problem reports or change requests. So they could initiate a change. So maybe someone on the shop floor sees an issue, they can quickly create something without having to know how to use Windchill. So the idea is I can search for a part selected from my results, and I'm going to get the structure for it over here. So now once I make that selection, it's going to give me all sorts of information about that part, but I'm interested only on my change object. So let's see, I don't have any problem reports or change requests open for this guy, but I can quickly open one right here on our apps. So I can say that I want to open a new problem report, and then I'm going to say something silly, so don't judge me. And say I'm the admin, and it's something with the design, high priority, and I need it done by next month. That doesn't usually happen, but and so here's the part that I'm opening that problem report against, and then I can hit my submit button, and I've created a problem report, and I didn't even have to go into Windchill for any of it. So this has been a powerful tool for a lot of our customers. Once I close it out, I can now see that I have my problem report here. If I happen to be someone that does Windchill, I could go in here and look further, but I don't have to. So now that I've created a problem report, this app is where you'd come to create problem reports or change requests or variances. You have the option to do all of these over here. And we can, any configurations that you might have for your problem report or your change request object, we can make them on our apps as well, and they would move forward with upgrades, something that's usually not as easy with Windchill. So now that I've created my problem report, I have this app here called Task Management. So when I come in here, this is basically going to default to show me all of my open tasks. So it's almost like my to-do list. If I were a change admin, and these are all tailorings that you can do based on roles. So you could have certain users see one way, other users see it another. But as an admin, for example, I'd have the option to say, I want to see everyone's tasks, and I could just uncheck this and it would show me everyone's tasks that are open, kind of keep an eye on what's going on in my organization as an admin. But these are my tasks. I can look at different attributes for reporting. So I can, for example, see all the different roles that I have tasks in or status. And then if you had any custom attributes or anything important that you'd want a visual representation of, this is tailorable. I could have 100 or 300 attributes under this drop down, and it's all configurable by your role.
The powerful piece is, being a manager type person, being able to see all of the tasks assigned to everybody on your team, or all of the tasks, if I wanted to see all of the tasks assigned to Carolina, I could switch this view and see the tasks assigned to her. And to do that in Windchill would require a custom report or a pretty advanced saved search to get to that same information. Or you'd have to go into each problem report or each change request and look at who it's sitting on. This tool, does it all for you in a single screen. So that's huge. Go ahead, Carolina.
Yep, as an admin, we could have it configured that one of these drop downs is the assignee, and you could come in here and look at different assignees and select. So anytime I select something here, it's going to filter my table to only what I've selected. So I can look at all of my tasks that are change admin. I can also add filters over here. These are all individual filters that I can add for the different columns that I have available. And then I've also got the long search. So let's say that I know that I want this object number and I had a really long list. I could do this and oh, there it is. So the beauty of this for the user, for the end user, is once I select it, I actually get the option to complete it right here. So if I had maybe I'm a change admin and I have 3 or 4 of these that I have to approve, I can just go one after the other without having to leave the screen and complete them all, just with a couple of clicks. I can, again, complete it right here, but I'm going to show you something else real quick. So if I come into this task details view, this is now going to focus on that task only, and it's going to give you a little bit more information. And you'll notice we have a lot of like little empty areas in here, and this is where we have hooks to place in like custom views for you to add in whatever it is that you need to see. So for example, on this bottom, you could add in information about the actual change object that it's coming from, or you could add information from the task. On the side here, we have a custom mashup based on your selection of the affected objects. So I could come in here and dig further on that actual object, get all the different information I need from it in a custom mashup that you never have to deal with again. So it's upgrade friendly, which a lot of times when you say custom for Windchill, it's like, oh my gosh, we're gonna mess up our upgrades, but not for a navigate. So that's really nice. Again, I have the option to complete my task over here if I wanted to. And we have other spots. We'll have other spots within the app, so we'll be able to get to this page. I'm gonna close it back real quick, and I'll show you right here. So this is a little bit of a squished version of that one. We've got all the different items that it's affected right here. I could double click and look at them in Windchill if that happened to be what I needed to do. But I have all of the options that I have on my task. I don't know how much Ryan's gotten into this here, but for example, in this case, I've got some special instructions, I've got comments, and I've got routing options. You will see the same thing on our apps. So let's say I want to say that this is going to be a full track, then I'm going to add some comments, and then I have some special instructions. And then I can hit the complete button, and I've completed that task. So now if I double click on, look at it in Windchill again, it's been completed, and it's moved on to the next step. So what's really nice here is, I mean, I'm logged in as WC admin and everything's getting assigned to me, but now once I refresh my page, I've got it set to that object. So that specific task is gone, and now I've got the next task on the list because they're just coming all to me. But the idea is you could come in here and say, well, let's say I want to look at all of my submit change requests because I've got a bunch of them. So I can come in here and say, I want to look at submit change request. Oops, if I can type. And now I can say, okay, I already know that I need to submit all of these. I can complete it. I can complete it. And I'm done. And it took me 2 clicks. It would not have taken you 2 clicks to do this in Windchill. So that's one of the beauties of this app. So the other 3 apps we have here, problem report, change request, and change notice overviews, they're all very similar. And the idea is that you can come in here and you can get an overview of your system for these objects. So it's going to default to showing you anything that's been open. You can come in here and also make a selection on, I only want things that were open within the last week, maybe. And then once I hit my refresh button, it's going to apply that. Now it's only going to show me what's in there for the last week. Again, we've got that empty open area here that gets activated once you make a selection on the bottom. So this is where you could come in here and show whatever you want for that specific change object in a custom mashup. And the same idea with the pie, where you can have all different types of attributes in here that you can kind of get an overview on, and you can filter on as well. So because you could come into the apps, like now I'm looking at a parts list right here. So I'm looking at this parts list. I get the parts list. I have something similar to my change apps where I can have different attributes. All of the apps that we have, they have quick access to Windchill. Usually anytime you see a table, double click, you're gonna open that in Windchill. So that's a pretty sweet spot as well for the Navigate apps. Change request and change notice, you have the same idea, but now we're looking at change requests and change notices, your spot for your custom mashups. And the idea too is, so this is our first release of these change apps. And we have another one upcoming soon, and we'll have some added functionality where now we're going to interconnect a lot of these apps. So say now I'm double clicking one of these, and instead of opening it in Windchill, I'm opening the view for that, and now I see all the tasks for it. And then from the tasks, I can get to that tasks page. So it'll be a nice little flow in between these apps. So right now they're more of like a dashboard view and being able to get the reports on the pie graph, but we'll also be adding on to all of these. And the same idea with the change notice. I won't spend too much time because I'll show you one more thing. So you'll see for all of our apps, we have this little tailoring icon in the corner. And what's nice about this is it lets you customize, configure actually, because it's not a customization, for any number of roles. So say you have 4 different groups of people that are coming in to navigate, and they need to see different things. This is where I could come in here and turn on and off options for each one of them. So for example, as a change admin, I get that option to see everyone's tasks. If this was just a user, let's say that manufacturing group just had users, you could turn that off. So now they're always defaulted to only seeing their own open tasks and they don't get to see anything else. Being able to complete a task, you could turn that off as well. So if maybe you don't want some users to be doing any of this over here, you can turn it off, but they could still have access to the app, use it for viewing, but not to complete anything. Like I said, with the grid attributes, you can select which attributes you want to show for each group, as well as what attributes go into that pie chart. These attributes right here that you see for the affected object, they can be configured as well. So I could change what I'm seeing